Yeah, I thought Elsa, there we go.
Good evening, everyone. This is Cricket Lap for Monday, December 11th, 2023. And tonight we have Jessica Rivera and her mom, Denise, I forgot. And they are going to tell you their health journey story and whatever else suits their fancy. So we're going to have them sit down here so you can hear them on the recording, and they're going to get started.
Okay. Can we fit?
Yeah, we fit.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So as she told you, my name is Jessica. This is my mom, Denise. We both kind of started this journey around the same time. She started a little bit before me.
Yep.
I actually thought the things she was doing was crazy and a little bit of a sham because I wasn't completely on board. I was like, I don't know, Mom. It sounds like a little weight loss scammy type thing. I don't really want to do it. And then it turns out I actually went to school for it. And now I'm kind of her doctor.
Yeah, funny how that works out.
My story is my hair was falling out like in clumps in the shower, and I would just cry and cry, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? And then I didn't want to do anything with my kids. I always wanted to lay around on the couch. I was super depressed. I was always just down, and I knew something was wrong, but doctors, they're like, oh, everything's fine, fine. We just want to put you on a depressant or whatever, and I didn't want to do that. They tried to put me on birth control, which I was on for a short period of time, and that threw my hormones completely out of whack. That really just, I was on my cycle for like, I think almost 2 months straight because of what the doctors did with birth control. And I was mean too. I was so mean. And
She was mean. She was mean.
I was so horrible. Yeah. But then I got off the birth control and everything didn't go back to normal. That's when actually things got worse.
Oh, yeah.
That's when everything really hit me hard. And I was like, I know something's wrong. I know I did a lot of praying and a lot of searching and a lot of digging, and then she comes along with that, and of course I'm like, oh, it's a scam, but listen to your parents, right? So like I said, I went to school for it, and then I figured out what was wrong. My hormones were completely out of balance, and that was causing the depression, and that along with my food allergies and all these other things. And I was just like, but I did, because I didn't know, and I also didn't know about the raw either. So I did go get the testing done, which is what I do now. I do the testing instead of just saying, oh, here's an herb for this, you're going to get better in a day. I test somebody and give them the supplements that they need based on
you
where
meet
they're
them
at.
where they're at.
Yeah.
She meets them where they're at. It says the supplement is not the Band-Aid. She's gonna let them know about the nutrition is key.
Yeah.
Period.
Like that brain connection.
Yeah, it's key. The nutrition is the key, and we continue to learn and grow.
Yep.
Like we started off with the wellness way, and that was really great. Like it saved me. It helps her
and me.
And the reason you started though was because of Rose.
Oh yeah, my daughter Rose. She has had 3 open heart surgeries by the time she was 4. And what do you mean before that? I was saying total.
Oh,
Total, yeah. Total, she's had 3 by the time she was 4. And that was really my drive to do this, because I wanted something better for her. I didn't want her to have another surgery, because when I first took her to the doctor, the cardiologist, they said that there's only 3 other cases like hers that they've ever seen, and she was in practice for 25 years for a cardiologist. And I was like, and Rose was being the 3rd case, by the way. I said, so what happened to the other 2 kids, right? Well, one died and one made it. So in my brain, I'm thinking Rose only has a 50-50 chance of making it, right? Of surviving this condition. And I wasn't accepting that. I did a lot of praying, asked our Father to heal her.
Fasting and praying.
yeah, exactly. Fasting and praying. And I was led to the Wellness Way where I learned how to do all the testing and reading and the supplements and all that stuff. Got her allergies tested. I gave her white willow bark because I wanted her on blood pressure medication. And I wanted her on baby aspirin. I didn't like that either. So I gave her white willow bark and what was it? Dandelion root,
Dandelion root. Yep.
beetroot juice,
Yes. Beetroot juice.
and I think there was another thing. I did the
The white-
albizia.
Oh yeah. Yep,
Albizia.
because that's an adaptogen.
Yeah, it's for inflammation.
Yes. Albizia is an adaptogen for inflammation.
Yep. It conquers inflammation along with nettle leaf too.
Well, yeah, those were the ones that they had me on at first too. Was nettle leaf, albizia, and California poppy.
Because they told her she was allergic to everything, so they
Yeah.
had her do nettle leaf, albizia,
California poppy.
California poppy. And I was so stressed out with my conditions that I had. They had me on ashwagandha, California poppy, kava, all kinds of different supplements.
Yeah, that's the thing. So and that's what I thought when I was doing the Wellness Way. And then it's not that I don't believe them; they're great. And she's obviously when I go to her for my supplements and for, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think? So they're like the carpenters, instead of the firefighters. That's my analogy.
Oh yeah, so like a doctor will put out your fire, right? But then like carpenter will come in and rebuild everything and get to the root cause of your problem and not just say here's a medication for this or an herb for this and call it a day.
Yeah, and so I would get aggravated because for me it was like, well, you're just giving me another medicine that's better for me, which I'll take because I don't want the side effects of anything else. But at the same time, I'm like, when does that end? When is this gonna stop? And I'm like, I just want to be done. And you just keep researching and just keep seeking and looking, just like we do with our father. You just keep looking, keep digging, and
Yep.
keep
Keep
seeking.
learning.
And I came along the raw, and I told her, and again she's like, I don't know. But then she tries it. We're like, okay, let's give this a shot, and that's where we're at. So we're still just starting off with that.
Yeah.
That's where we're at and learning and kind of still incorporating it all together.
And one
But
of
she
my
actually has the business. She's gone to school, so yeah.
one of my other symptoms that I had was reoccurring strep. So when you have reoccurring strep, so that tube from your throat all the way down to your butt basically is connected. So when you have strep, you have it in your gut too. That's where it all starts, is in the gut.
Gut is 90.
Are you saying strep?
Strep,
Strep,
yeah,
yeah,
like, yeah,
strep throat,
strep
yeah.
throat, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm like, why do I have that? Well, I had SIBO, but I had to get rid of the strep. I can't just have white bumps and have my throat inflamed all the time. So I took birch xylitol. I know it might sound contrary, but the sugar from the xylitol absorbs the bacteria, and you basically pee out the strep. And I did colloidal silver and other things
Good, yeah.
to get rid of it. And a lot of people don't know about the birch xylitol. They're like, really, sugar for bacteria? I'm like, yeah, that just sucks it right up and goes out.
But xylitol from birch.
Birch
not
xylitol,
from-
yeah. Yeah, it cannot be from the corn
Right.
at all. The one from the corn will mess up your
Yeah,
bowels
That'd be
even.
bad.
You'll be on the toilet for a while.
And you did that for the strep. For SIBO, I had
For SIBO, yeah.
oregano oil.
Oregano oil
Yep.
too, yeah.
That worked good. Oregano oil for that, and then
You can only do the oregano oil for a short period of
Yeah.
time though.
it's
Yeah, you
potent
can only
stuff.
take it I only take it in a capsule because your mouth will be on fire if you don't.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
So
Oh.
tell us about Wellness Way, is that a company? Is that a?
That's the company I went to school for.
That she won the scholarship for. Yep.
Yeah, so I won a scholarship for them, went to school, learned how to do all the testing and read them, because we do immune panels, stool testing, hormone testing, allergy testing, pretty much any kind of test you can think of. We run it on a cellular level,
Yep, that's what I was just gonna
a
say.
molecular level.
It's more, so you can go to the doctor and, okay, so here's a case in point. She'd gotten sick. I was my mom's hospice care person. And I had to go to her house, and she's just had Aria, the baby. And I have to walk her to the bathroom like I had to care for my mom. And I said, you have to go. This is an emergency.
Oh yeah.
So we went to the emergency.
They told me nothing was wrong. Flat
They
out.
can't test her for that because she's not old enough. Anything. They did a general for her. They did
This
it the
last
last
time?
time. So this is what I remember when you were still in the Allen Park house.
Oh, okay.
And remember I had
They
to go
did.
there.
I thought they did every test on me.
They did the blood works. Well, they didn't, because so I said, well, what about? I specifically asked about like cancer and stuff because I was that scared.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they don't run that test for you at that age.
For my age.
Yeah, because you were too young. That's what he
I must
told
have
me.
been
I
must have been
so-
too sick to
I
remember.
was so mad. You were done. You were already done with them.
Yeah.
I was so mad. And I was just like, really? And that's why she can walk, right? That's why I have to have a wheelchair to get her in and out of here? We left. I called her Wellness Way doctor. And I said, look. And she said, I got an appointment tomorrow. I said, okay. So she sent her the blood work, because we can share that with them.
And I can read it.
And well, at that time you were too sick to read it.
I
You were
in
off
the,
it.
I
You
was
were-
in the vicinity. I was in the general vicinity.
You were, but I sent it to her, and she was like, "This is what's going on.
She's
She's
like-
malnutrition. She's
Has hypothyroidism.
hypothyroidism,
All this other
and from
severe.
the same blood work.
Yep.
From the same blood work. They
Yeah.
found that, and the emergency doctor's like, "Oh, she's fine." Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Send her back when something's really wrong.
Yeah. So I'm like,
It's normal for people to not be able to walk to the bathroom.
Right.
right.
And not be able to get out of bed and do
I-
things.
Yeah.
It was really
It was.
scary.
I was staying with her for a while.
Yeah. I even puked a few times because I couldn't eat anything.
Yep, wasn't holding anything down. I was scared. Yeah, so that's my example of the wellness way versus modern medicine. So I mean, I'll only go if it's an absolute emergency, like a broken arm. Okay, you can go set it.
Don't come near me with a needle
No,
or a pill. Though.
no.
Yeah.
No. But the
So
wellness ways where I learned all my stuff. So like I don't
that's the beginning of our journey.
Yeah.
Where we're at.
Yeah, I don't just be like, oh yeah, I know I said it a million times already, but put a band-aid on something. Like if you have certain symptoms, I'm gonna say, okay, I'd recommend this test and this test you, give you the supplements you need or whatever food I think
Until
might
you
help.
get to where you're at.
And the supplements aren't a permanent thing. Don't stay in them forever. It's just to help support your body through until it heals itself, and then you can be done with them. You know, it doesn't have to be long term unless you choose to do that.
Yep.
So sounds like pretty much herbs and.
Yeah.
Herbs, and I really believe in the gut brain connection too, which is why I'm at where I'm at with the food.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everything you put into your body absolutely matters. I don't like people. Oh, it's okay if I eat something bad every now. No, it's not. I'm kind of very strict on it. People get annoyed with me sometimes, like especially my kids. They're like, "Can we just have it this one time?" And I don't like it.
Yeah.
We don't do dairy. We don't do gluten. You know, all inflammatory foods. We don't do those.
Soy.
Dairy, gluten, soy,
Sugar.
corn.
Corn.
Yeah,
Corn,
corn is a
corn, sugar.
huge inflammatory. That's a huge inflammatory food. Yeah. So we try to stay away from that stuff.
They love corn too.
Yeah, but we don't.
I know, but they did have it.
I know they had it, but it's still a thing.
I know. Actually, I forgot about it.
How did you forget about the corn?
It doesn't, it's a vegetable, a fruit, so
It's kind of fruit.
it's grain. See that? It's grain.
And my son, for example, when we first started, they wanted to diagnose him with ADHD, with everything under the sun. And I was like, mm-mm. And that's when I got his food allergies tested, and it was like night and day. He avoided those allergies, and
Yeah, he calmed down a lot.
he calmed way down. And I gave him Albizia for the inflammation. You guys probably already wrote some of the stuff down, but California poppy to help with the stress, because he was highly stressed
Yeah.
from everything that was going on in his body and everything like that. And then
Yeah, and he even lost weight too, because he was getting heavy, husky.
he was,
Husky.
yeah.
Yeah, he lost. Yeah, he did good.
How old was he?
Let's see, he was probably about, he's 11
had
now, 10,
surgery.
9, 8. I'd say he was like 7, 6 or 7. Yeah. He's still kind of hyper, but I think it's just a boy thing.
He's such a Luke.
So you've been doing the wellness way for 5 or 6 years?
I would say so.
Yeah, I started end of 2020, 1920, because I was in that house,
You started with yours, but
and you were after me.
I was in school for it though during your time.
Yeah, you caught right on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I was like, that's not what I learned, and she was screwing you up.
oh, I know,
So
right? Yeah, we were still freshly new then. So yeah, since about 2019 then, right? 1920. So about 3 years. It's only 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned a lot before then too. So we got into the wellness way probably, at least I know I did, about probably a year before.
Oh yeah, because you were always on the natural path.
Yeah.
Because I was, because we started in the Garden City house with learning some, but not. And then
We
I
very,
followed, yeah.
very first started when I was like 13.
I did the Atkins diet. I researched diets, and so I had been with a girlfriend of mine. She moved in with me. She was bigger, and I don't know. I just happened to see a picture of us together, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm fat. Why didn't anyone tell me I'm fat?" And she said, "I didn't think you were fat." So I was like, "Well, I don't think this is right. I'm gonna look into this." And so I did all this research, and I did research Dr. Atkins, and I did the Atkins thing forever. And I remember at one point saying I could just eat all vegetables. I love it so much. And she was on it too, and so she learned at that age more healthier way of eating.
Yeah, it all spiraled from there.
Yeah, that's how it spiraled up. And so then I met Matt, and I went back to eating junk and just forgetting everything I learned, and
now you're here.
And then yeah, got sick. And
I thought Atkins was a meat and vegetable diet.
it was it was low carbs basically.
Could you
cut
repeat
out-
the question so we can hear it online? That would be great.
she said that she thought that the Atkins diet was only
Meat and vegetables.
meat and vegetables. It was basically a low carb diet, and you choose basically what you want to eat. And he did use supplements. If you follow the original Dr. Atkins, he was onto it. He did have you eat, but his meat would be chicken and fish. But I leaned towards the vegetables. I love all of the, and they always accuse me, you eat all healthy. Like, well, what kind of food do you want?
What are we supposed to eat?
And they were like, fried. But
yeah,
they caught on, and then you know, I was learning things back then. I don't know, Kevin Trudeau. My girlfriend gave me a book about Kevin Trudeau, and I read that. I was like, oh my gosh. And she was young. I don't know if they were paying attention, but she obviously did, because
I
as
did.
I fell off the wagon, because that's what I call it. Meeting Matt, he's a type 1 diabetic. My husband is. He's got MS. He's got osteoarthritis. He doesn't believe in
Any of this. Nope. He's
at
like
all.
complete opposite.
So it's harder for me to stay on track, because that's where I'm at. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
enter her, and she's just like, nope, we're doing this. So it helps a lot, you know.
Well, he eats the dairy that does
He-
affects
yeah.
his pancreas. Your pancreas can't break it down,
Yep.
causing the diabetes and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried telling him that about the dairy, that the body can't break it down very well. And he's just like, I can't give up my cheese.
Mainstream medicine saved his life, because he was 5 years old when he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So he says, if it weren't for mainstream medicine, I wouldn't be here. I told him there was the cure for diabetes. I told him what I was researching back then with the Kevin Trudeau and stuff like that, that there was a female doctor here in the States. Or was that with Dr. Atkins when I was learning all that? Doesn't
No,
matter.
it wasn't.
She was here, and she had the cure for diabetes. And I read all about her, and they were doing to her what they were doing to other people. And she seen the writing on the wall, and she went to Canada. And she went to Canada, and she said, this is where I'm at. And you can't just go off of the insulin. You come here, and it's going to take, depending on where you're at, about 6 months. And I'll get you there. So she saved, she unfortunately left the States and is in Canada. Last I knew, that was a long time ago. But I told him, and then with her learning, and I just absorb what she learns. I'm like, yeah, you can get rid of your type 1 diabetes, but he won't believe, he won't listen. He's just,
Nope, they never listen to the wife or the child or the
No,
mom.
they don't.
I know. So we just pray and just try to lead by example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that raw family hope that you got.
Yeah.
She helped her son with type 1 diabetes.
She
Yeah,
did,
I
and
read that too.
She
Yeah.
did, and I keep it out, and I quit telling him, because it just, I just want to, yeah, and I don't want to hear the comments. So his daughter is going to school to be an occupational therapist, and in order to do that, you need a master's. So he's like, well, I wonder what she would say about Jessica's health food stuff and
And-
what these guys say,
and-
because she had to go to school for 4 years. You can't just do this and be good at it and help people and heal people for when you just go to the wellness way. And I was like, oh, okay.
But I talked to his daughter and about the inflammation and how it's the root cause of all chronic illnesses and everything. She's like, oh yeah, I'm just now learning about that.
She isn't.
Yeah.
And I started laughing. I'm like, I learned that within a short, condensed amount of
Yeah.
time. Like it's everywhere. How do you not know that inflammation causes all these problems?
It's so funny, because there's something called, I don't know how to pronounce it,
Limbitic system.
limbitic system.
Limbitic
Yeah,
system.
and it's something to do with the mind and your thought processes, as well as the stress, because stress is
Yeah.
a huge trigger for inflammation as well.
It is.
And I didn't know that, and that's been a part of my saving grace here lately. But I was telling, when she was talking to her about all that, she was learning the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep, she was just learning the same thing about that stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And women actually can die from stress if you're overly stressed all the time. So you can only imagine how your thoughts affect your whole system, not just,
Yeah.
mind. Mentally, spiritually, physically, everything. So like, and if you're constantly thinking about your health problem, it's probably going to get worse, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick, I just can't do this.
Yeah.
But if you think of the things that you can do, then
Right,
you'll be
yeah.
able to grow, maybe overcome that sickness faster. I'm not saying like, oh, you're gonna overcome something major with that, but it can help. The positive thinking, I really believe that.
Yeah, so my body had gone into fight or flight response mode and never came out. which is why I was so sick and I was tired and the hormones all flatlined. And I didn't know that I was stressed. So the Albizia and the California poppy that I was taking, people would say stress, and I didn't know what stress was until I got better.
Yep.
So now I know the signs.
You don't know
and
how
I'm
you
just like,
feel. You don't know how bad you are until you get better.
yeah, it's crazy.
I was on Kava and California poppy. They wanted me to go on CBD oil too because I was so like, I was super stressed more than she was.
I just had the low stuff.
Oh.
Oh, you're all right.
But I was allergic to hemp, and there was hemp in the CBD oil, so I couldn't do those things. But they had me do ashwagandha because that's an adaptogen too, and that helps balance stress and hormones and all that stuff. It's not just a one thing. It'll give your body what it needs. It's a good liver support too. Yeah, and dandelion root as well can help with the blood pressure and all that stuff.
What type of diet do you guys eat now regularly?
We're
share with us.
transitioning to the full raw right now.
Trying to. I am. I'm terrible at it, but I'm trying.
Most of my meals are raw. One meal a day is not. So adjusting my 4 kids to the full raw is a little challenging sometimes,
I can't wait till they are though.
but we're doing pretty good so far.
They're doing better than I am.
So do your children notice the difference? Can they verbalize that since mom has done this for us, I'm this
Yes.
way? Yeah.
Absolutely. So when I first started with the food allergies for all of them, because I just was gung ho and I did all their allergies, I did all this stuff, and they stopped having all these issues. Like they stopped having digestive issues.
Yeah, that
so
was
much.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't having regular bowel movements, or their bellies would always hurt when they had to go. And their moods and their attitudes, all of that completely changed once we did the allergies. And then now that we're doing raw, they complain sometimes, but they're happier. Their moods have improved, and then if they do eat something bad, they're like, I have a headache, I don't feel good. And I'm like, it's because you ate this. And they're like, I know, but it was so good. I'm like, But yeah, they definitely notice difference. My son has actually requested the California poppy and the Albizia because he knows that it helps him.
It'll help him sleep. Help
him sleep.
Yep.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but melatonin is actually used in a lot of cancer patients to help boost their immune systems. So it's actually a huge immune booster. And some people are against taking melatonin because they think negatively or think it's going to affect them. But in all reality, it really just boosts your immune system. It's one of the biggest things, like I said, that give cancer patients.
They had me on that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sleeping. I was getting like 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night. Yep.
I was the opposite. I wanted to sleep all the time because of my depression. But I was on St. John's wort too for that, and they had me on bone broth and all kinds of.
But you remember when you were living in the apartments and you didn't know any of this stuff, and you made that concoction that with tart cherry juice, and it helped immensely.
It did. I called it like a super smoothie.
The super shake. He called it the super shake.
Okay, what was in it?
It was tart cherry juice. I was just starting out, so it's very basic. Tart cherry juice, spinach. What kind of? Oh, it had blueberries. I think it had kale in it, and and I did. I'm trying to think of the other thing. I can't think of it. I think it was another vegetable, but I can't remember. Or
Strawberries or something.
was it? It wasn't a lot of fruit. It was mostly veggies. But for sure the spinach.
Or beet.
I'm trying to finish. It was the spinach, kale, tart cherry juice, and blueberries for sure, I know. Those were the four main things that I had in there because I was just learning everything. But that helped me a lot with my hormones and with my mood. If I went without it, I noticed how I felt for sure.
She even gave it to her husband at the time too, and he noticed a difference too. He was like, "Wow, this really works."
Yeah, and it helped. I think it helped boost my metabolism too. Like gave me some B vitamins and things that I needed as well. So
Yeah, so we're
vegetarian.
just
That was
excited
yummy.
yeah,
it was good. Yeah, it was really good.
she told me about it, and I was just like, I wasn't on board at the time.
No, she wasn't.
I was not. I remember her telling me, "Tart, go get me some. Can you get me some tart cherry juice?" Like, what the heck is? Where do you even get that from?
She didn't even know I had to help her. Yeah.
Then I tried it, and I was like, "Oh, that's good."
Do you
It
find you
was
gotta order the stuff online, or how do you get the fresh stuff that you need?
I just go like to health food stores, and the tart cherry juice is at like a Kroger, Walmart,
Huh?
Meyer. But I make sure I get the one in the glass because I don't like all the plastic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Do you guys do all organic, or does it
much,
pretty much?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
Fine, as much as we can
same
find.
here,
in here.
as much as possible.
Well, if you, my husband, sometimes he can't get organic, so you have to take off the skin, and
Yeah.
whatever is contaminated, try. Well, if it's
Are
only,
you-
if it's a temporary.
Are you able to help? Oh, I hear them in the back. Are you able to help people long distance too, or do you have to have them come to you?
Oh no, I can do it all over the phone or like we're doing now. Yeah, I
Okay,
can.
we want your number online.
Okay, I can give it to you right now if you
Okay.
don't mind. 734 299 1136.
Repeat it to me.
Okay, it's 734 299 1136.
How about a name?
And your name again, so I can write it down.
Jessica Rivera.
Thank you.
It's like the word river with an A at the end.
I know
If
that's
that makes it
cool.
easier.
Thank you.
I didn't hear you.
An Italian name, Rivera.
No, it's a Hispanic. Yeah. It was my husband's last name, not mine, so I'm not Hispanic.
Funny.
Anything else you want to tell us?
I don't. Is there anything?
Well, did you tell us all the changes that happened when you changed your diet? You tell us all the things that you.
So when I did, that's a good one. When I did change my diet, I did notice that I wasn't as I didn't have the brain fog. The brain fog was gone because a lot of times I'd be so confused and just feel dumb. I'm like, I didn't even sometimes I'd lose stuff and didn't know why. Like, and be like, oh, you're just getting old, haha. That's what I would hear a lot, but I
Her
wasn't
speech
old.
would be mixed up. She would mix
Yeah.
the words up when talking.
And I would be like, I'm not old. What is going on? And so that went away. The confusion went away. I was happier. I was able to do more stuff with my kids. I was more
energy. You had
more energy, more motivation.
Your hair is gorgeous.
Her hair quit falling out.
Yeah, that my hair quit falling out. That was huge because I'd cry about that a lot too. I didn't have any more gut issues because I did have a lot of those. If I wasn't hydrated all the time, I wouldn't be going to the bathroom. So once I started eating better, and I did have to drink more water, but the food really contributed. So all of that really changed, and I did lose weight. That wasn't my thing though. I wasn't out to lose weight.
Right.
That was just a plus, a bonus for me.
Yeah, I love when they ask you, "Are you doing this to lose?" I could care less about your weight loss. I'm telling you right now, that's where I was at.
My goal isn't to get people to lose weight. My goal is to get them healthier. If they want to lose weight, fine, that's great. But that's not what I do. I'm not like, oh yeah, here, eat all this food to help you lose weight. No,
That just happened.
that just happens when you
anyways.
get healthier anyways.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't, then we got to do some testing to figure out what's going on with that. But my kids all notice a huge difference, like I told you guys, with their moods, with their bowel movements, with everything. My daughter hasn't needed another open heart surgery when they said that she would have to have her valves replaced. She doesn't have to have that done.
No.
She got healed, and I believe that our Father did heal her through what I do and through prayers, because I know it's not just me. That's my biggest testimony is her, because that's why I did this. That's why I started this. It wasn't for my personal gain. It was to help her and to help other people. And like, if I know this truth and I know that it can help people, why wouldn't I want to do it? Why wouldn't I try?
Well, Jeff her soon to be ex is he was having heart trouble.
Oh yeah, he had high blood pressure.
High blood pressure, was in the hospital all the time, and she was doing the wellness way, and he was sort of like my husband in the beginning and not believing. And she said, listen, at one point she just said, you have to trust me on this.
And I told him, get your food allergies tested. Just do that. Because it was just inflammation. Heart problem is just inflammation. That's what it is. High blood pressure, boom, that's what it is. So got his allergies tested. He stopped eating his allergies. Went back to the doctor a month later. Oh, you're
Bam.
fine. You don't need the medication. You don't have to do any of this stuff. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. She didn't ask no questions. That was it. No, they don't, and they should. Or they do, like with the thyroid, they don't look at all the hormones for the thyroid either, so they don't know. They'll be like, oh, you don't have a thyroid problem, because they don't test how it's converting the T3 and the T4. They only test certain levels.
And I love how they don't believe you when you go in and I tell them, look, I'm not on any of those medications, and this is what you told me, and this is where I'm at, and this is what happened. They're like, they just don't even acknowledge that.
No, they don't. And the thyroid is a secondary problem. It's not the main problem. The thyroid is like screaming at you saying, something is going wrong, something is happening. And usually if you have a thyroid problem, it's an immune system problem, not this.
What about iodine, natural iodine?
What about it?
Well, doesn't that help the thyroid?
It can. Like, so if you're having a thyroid problem, this still needs to be addressed, but it's not the main problem. So if you get to the root cause of what's causing your thyroid, then that thyroidism will go away. But during that time, we'll have to support the thyroid until that other problem is fixed. But then your thyroidism could be cured. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought we needed a certain amount of natural iodine.
You need a certain amount of trace minerals, it's true,
Yeah, but you
but
don't.
it's not your main thing. You don't want to focus on that, I think, right? I think.
Yeah.
So, so are you balancing your diet then to take care of like some needs that you have seen?
So I still take stuff, but I don't have to. I just choose to. So like, I know that I used to need like fish oil because I didn't have enough healthy fats in my system. So I still take that. If I notice I'm too stressed, I'll do the poppy or the kava. I'll take a couple things here and there, but I don't take them every single day. It's just
because the stress doesn't come from just your food. There's 3 different things that cause that. The
3 T's, I call them: trauma, toxins, and thoughts.
yeah.
Thoughts. Yeah, the three traumas, toxins, and thoughts.
Yep. And so when you, like, the thoughts can be racing, some people have that. It could be due to diet. It could be due to,
Environment.
environmental. It could be due to anything. And so until you till she can get to the root cause to find out what it is, those supplements will help. Like if she knows she's stressing and she's out of control, she'll take the Albezia just until she figures out what's going on, you know, and make the correction from there, you know. So this is the best way I could put that.
OSHA helps too with the stress and inflammation. So that's a good one.
What's,
It's called OSHA.
how's it spelled?
OSHA. I know.
I think of
They should
OSHA
What
as,
did you say?
Safety and Health Administration, so occupational.
I know, yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm like, she said it, and I'm just like, wait, that's new on me. I never heard of that. What are you talking about?
But this is a little thing. I never had any nice fingernails until I started drinking kale juice.
Really? I'm gonna have to try that.
I'm saying your
Yeah, mine are bad.
I do,
calcium helps.
Okay.
usually that's a magnesium
for the
deficiency.
magnesium. Well, probably both.
Yeah, magnesium, potassium, you know, collagen could help with that too, because it helps the hair and the nails. But yeah, I would definitely say magnesium too.
What would you say to somebody that, where the doctor gave a test and said that you have a lot of, loss of calcium? That's a big deal now for people my age. Loss of calcium, you know, in your system. What would you say? I mean, would you?
Are you talking about bone loss or no calcium in your bloodstream?
Well, there was a test that they gave me to see if I had any loss of calcium. That's what they said. Anyway, well, I'll tell you what, don't do. Don't take whatever they tell you to take to help with that, because I looked on the package and it was made from marble.
No, what?
It
So
was calcium tablets
have you
that
heard
come
of?
from marble.
Have you heard of grounding?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yes,
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people have.
yes.
So it's vitamin D, but you don't absorb that really well, so you need the K3. So
Yeah, the vitamin D and K2.
is
You
what
can't,
you would get.
yeah, you can't take, I don't know, you guys seem like you know a lot, so I don't want to, but the vitamin D3 and K2, you have to, you know, vitamin D can't stand on its own. You have to take it with something
An
connected
enzyme, it
to
needs
it.
that binding
Yeah.
enzyme.
With assimilating the calcium.
Right.
Those other two.
Yeah.
And then the sunlight, pretty much. The sun and grounding with the outside with bare
That
feet on
can
the ground
help. Yeah, the calcium
helps a lot.
deficiency isn't, I feel like that's overrated, and they just say that to people to freak them out sometimes.
Did you have a question over there?
Yeah, I hope I wasn't not paying
Thank you.
attention. So, like, where
Can't
do
see 'em.
you say you start to get a test like that? Like, when you say
What's the
to
question?
test it for food allergies.
He's asking where you can get the
call-
testing.
You go to your
Oh,
doctor.
okay.
She does it. I go to her.
How do you,
I order the testing, and then I can't see you, so it's kind of awkward. But I order the testing, and then I would send it to your place. Like, depends on the test. If it's a urine test, you could do it at home. Just stool test, you could do that at home too. But the blood testing, you can go to. I would give you a paper to tell you where you can go do your testing around your area.
The lab insurance usually
lab.
covers it, yeah.
Yeah, your insurance would usually cover the
Uh-huh.
blood test.
Yep.
But you still have to get it from me
I mean, how much is it?
how much,
for
how
the
much
test.
do you charge?
She's like, how much do you?
Okay, slow down.
It depends on the test that you want to get.
Yeah, I
the-
just wanted to know what I should stay away from. Or the.
So an allergy test,
An allergy test, I believe that one is what,
350.
$350. Yeah.
And is that a blood test you can do at the lab?
Yep.
Yes, or if you don't want to go to a lab, you can get the finger prick one. But I feel like that's a waste of money because they don't test your IgGs and your IgEs. They only test one of them.
What are those?
I knew it. I was gonna say, you just lost them.
There's something she can tell you about.
Oh,
So if you have insurance though, Lillian, generally speaking, I know you can't speak for all insurances, but generally speaking, will insurance cover allergy testing like that $350?
It won't cover the 350. It will cover the lab testing. Right?
HSA, if you have HSA,
Oh, I don't know.
like the HSA savings, some insurances have like a savings plan with it, and you can use that to pay for the testing.
Yeah, but
But if you don't, then usually it doesn't because the doctors don't even want to run the tests at their vicinity, usually.
There are some insurances that take that though. Yeah.
Yeah, but most,
And
Yeah.
mainstream insurance,
No.
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 I have a new man insurance, would that cover it?
she doesn't know individual insurances. She
No.
can't tell you
No.
about individual
She is working on getting her own testing.
Yeah, I'm working on becoming a phlebotomist so I can do my own, and
So
people
she
don't
can-
have to
and-
worry
and
about that.
Skip that part.
Yeah,
Cool.
because
That's
that's
what she's, one of the goals.
I noticed the need for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted the test, you could
For right
reach
now,
out to me. I can order it. I would
But a
just
mainstream lab can do that?
they'll do the blood work, and then from there they send it out for you, and then they'd send me and the person that has to test the results. I
Okay.
read the results to you. We go over it together step by step so you know what's going on,
Okay.
and that's how.
And
that
my
can-
experience, the Wellness Way, for that type of testing is, they like to use LabCorp and Quest Diagnostics.
Yeah,
In Michigan anyways.
and immunolabs.
Immunolabs.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that one.
Okay, so now Deborah's question. So when you get the test back and you work with us, what do you charge? Right, that was your question, right, Deborah? Yeah.
Oh, what do you charge?
I gotta be honest with you. I probably wouldn't charge you guys anything to look over it. I would, because the testing is
No.
expensive. The testing is expensive, and I know that the supplements can sometimes get pricey too, depending on what's going on.
Well, then we'll
So-
do a nice donation.
So I wouldn't charge you guys anything. So
Her goal was to help people and she was upset about the cost
Aw.
that she ran into. So
Yeah.
her goal is to help people.
I'm not out to make $1 million. I'm just out to help people, and if I can do that, then
I know, but you gotta feed your kids too.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to tear up. I just know there's an extreme case that she works with, and she
that I
has,
am. Yeah, I'm working with somebody right now.
my daughter has she has no money, and she bought this lady and gave this lady her
Hormone test.
her hormone test. That's an expensive test for somebody like her. But she's helping this lady, and this lady's specialist doctors are willing to work with her to help this
They
woman.
want to talk to me to figure out what's
Because
going on
this
with
woman
her.
is so sick.
And they don't-
I think she's stubborn myself, and I told my daughter to give it up, and she refuses. So she won't.
No, she has.
Well, then you just need a donation button so that way we can bless you from what God's calling us to do.
Well, I'm not gonna make you guys or ask you to do that. If you want to, that's fine, but I'm
Yep.
not gonna
Yeah.
gonna push for it.
I have a testimony that it's never too late for you to change something in your diet or something in your health habits, because
True.
it will always have an effect on you.
Yeah.
And my proof is that, I had my first, colonoscopy when I was 62, and the doctor came in from that, and I said, well, how's my colon? He says, you've got a 40-year-old colon. I was 62, I had changed my diet when I was 40.
Good for
That's
you.
incredible.
Awesome.
Yay!
Yay, that's great.
So
Awesome.
I love that.
that's we went.
What did she say about when did she change her diet?
When she was in her 40s.
Well, it's the fiber that made the difference for the colon evidently. I don't know.
Obvious,
That's
yeah,
one thing.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is awesome.
Anything
So-
else, ladies?
Jessica, I'm wondering, do you do coaching? Is that what you do with folk who are not well?
Yeah, kind of.
And you said kind of.
Well, yeah, I do coaching. It's a little bit more than that. That's why I said kind of, but mainly, yeah, restorative health coach, you could say.
Okay. And where are you located? Are you located in Michigan?
I am.
You have a webpage, don't
I have
you?
a Facebook page. Yeah.
Facebook page? Paisley Restorative Health?
What's it called?
Paisley's Restorative Health.
How do you spell the first word?
PAISLEYS and then Restorative Health.
Where did that name come from? Not your last name?
Yeah, I've been, I feel like I need an accountability person to try to help with, I don't know, meal planning. I have a stressful job that's very busy. I'm a school psychologist.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
I tend to just eat what's free at work sometimes, even knowing that I have 50+ food sensitivities, and I would love to do the raw thing because I believe that would work best for me, but I haven't been faithful in sticking to it. So I keep listening to talks like this and others and saying to myself, so what's the point? You're not going to do anything about it.
I hear
Um,
You
you.
will.
I hear ya.
Ah,
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah.
If did you write down my phone number? I can help keep you accountable if you want me to.
Yeah, and I think for me, one of the concerns is getting enough nutrients. I do take Dr. Christopher's herbal supplements. There's a wellness place I went to in Illinois last summer, and I have stuff for the liver, the kidneys, the adrenals, and it does make a difference. And she says, if you can't get your juices in, she's big on, adding daily juices. If you can't get your juices in, drink your herbal teas.
Yeah.
She has
That can
SCX tea. What was that?
She said that can make it more stressful for you. It sounds like she's just adding more and more and more onto what you're doing, and you're already going through a lot of stuff. We don't want to make it overly complicated for you to make it to where you can't do it or don't want to do it.
Well,
I'm
the herbal stuff, it's in tinctures. So all I need to do is just put a little bit in a jar, add some water, and take it with me and drink it as I go. And the herbal teas, I steep them and I can make 2 or 3 servings at a time and just put them in my mason jars and go. So it's
Okay.
not, my job is just too busy. But I do notice a difference when I stick to the herbs and drink the green superfood powders that I just add water to. So it's very convenient. I just would like to add raw foods, like just have
Of course.
menu ideas like for a week, because I will just stick to the same thing all the time. So I'll think about giving you a call. I do have HSA, so I can always
Okay.
use that to pay for the service that you provide.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'd love to help you out whenever you're ready. I'm not the pushy type, so.
No, and right now, yeah, I tell myself, even in the midst of being busy, I must make an effort to do the right thing, not wait until it's convenient, because it's never going to be convenient. By the time it's convenient, I've formed a bad habit.
Yes, exactly.
Or strengthen the bad habit, I like to say. So,
Good,
yeah. Yeah, I have winter break on starting the 22nd. So I said I want to get a new start over that break. Yeah.
That'd be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not dealing with all the hectic schedules and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to answer?
Anybody
Thank you
else
both
have
for
any
your time.
questions for Jessica?
She asked
Yes,
me
thank you both.
where my business name came from.
Oh,
So it's kind of a touchy subject, but that's okay. um, so I gave birth to a stillborn at 40 weeks. And that was pretty rough. But that was her name, was Paisley. So I named my company after her. Just a little memorabilia type thing, so.
Are you located in Lansing? Can I just walk up on you?
Just walk up on me. I live in Parma.
Where?
It's near Jackson.
Oh,
It's kind of far, yeah. It's like
Not too far.
47
It's
minutes.
not too far, really.
No.
Well, to me, it's far. I don't know.
Not too far, really.
When
Thank
live
you
in
both
Parma,
for-
everything's far.
No, it's not.
For Lansing, it's not that far to Jackson, so.
Did somebody have a
Thank you
question?
both for your time. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're
Much.
welcome.
Thank you.
Happy to do it.
All right, take care.
Nice meeting you
Nice
guys.
meeting you guys.
Bye.
See
Well,
you
I don't
later.
think I don't think I showed my
Oh, there
face.
she is. I didn't see her.
Oh, no, we did.
Oh,
No.
This whole time we're staring at a blank screen. Yeah, we seen the name.
No, I turned it off because I was busy doing paperwork. I have
Oh,
meetings
okay,
tomorrow.
there you
And
go.
plus
And plus my apartment needs cleaning up. I'm
Oh,
like,
we
let's
don't
get
care
done
about
over
that.
break.
You're fine.
You got that big bright light behind her there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually it's just a lamp. I don't know why it looks like that on Zoom. And there's a fog lamp underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
beautiful.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.